Hello, this is Stephen Childs, The Way of Fairness, and I haven't made any videos on YouTube for quite some time. I made one just to make a link to my website, and I had more hits on that video than I have on almost any other video. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong, or if it's like the wannabe Lord of the Universe that's squashing my attempts. Some kind of Judas effect. I don't think there's a Jesus or a Judas, but I think that there are extraterrestrials that are here, and we can't see them, and they explain all the unknown causes to things. Like we have explanations for things like, well, it was a ghost, an unknown thing. We have no way to describe what caused it. It was God's will, or it was the devil did it. We say God's good, does the good stuff, and the devil does the bad stuff. It's how we explain unknown causes. So there's things that happen in our lives that are really strange and weird, and we can't explain it. So what's causing the strange coincidences, the synchronicity, for example? What is causing people to have telepathy or clairvoyance? Or what's actually the cause of someone bending a spoon? Psychokinesis, PK. Where do the dreams I have that are about the future, who is it that knows the future? And I'm in communication with these other beings. And it's telepathic, and I've been working on this for years. And it's been most interesting. We learn from each other, and they play any role they want. So this is why I came up with this idea that they're playing the role of Jesus and of Judas and God and Satan and Zeus and Aphrodite, all the gods, goddesses. They're playing the role of all that. So behind all of our mythology, there's actually this real thing. It's a thing, and they're extraterrestrial. And they can, when they want to, they can intervene in our lives and in our world. And so I'm atheist. I don't think there was a mind. The universal mind didn't cause the universe. The universal mind emerged from the universe that had no mind. And they're talking about, is there a multiverse or a universe? Well, it's the same thing to me. Whether you put 10 things are called multi, and they're all in the same set of one thing, all the things. So that's the universe, all the things. So I don't understand, but that's because I don't know of the technical research that's been going on in cosmology and with our understanding of physical law. So back to like the everyday world of human experience. I'm trying to illustrate how the law that we're ruled by the law. Mao Zedong said that power comes from the barrel of a gun. And so power comes from war. On a human level, this is how it's been, is the winner of the war makes the rules. And they write the history. They make a false history. Haven't you ever been lied to? So I put some thought into what law is and what morality is and where does it come from. And my argument is that it evolved because we evolved. Everything about humans and all forms of life evolved from lifelessness, from mindlessness. And it's fun to talk about this. This is just my opinion on the subject. And what's important to me is that I stand for truth and fairness. So truth has facts to it. Truth has facts to it. And it's a thing. I'm not a postmodernist, there's no truth kind of person. I think there's absolutely truth. And that's all there is that's real. Truth is what's real. And it's absolute. It has nothing to do with religion or God. The gods came from the truth. They don't create the truth. The gods are explanations for physical law. And we've progressed from thinking there's a God of lightning. We've abandoned that because we have so much evidence that there's not one. So anyway, enough on that. Let's get back to what I want to talk about is law and fairness. So my feeling is that our laws are to stop people from doing wrong to other people. That's their purpose. But because it's done by humans that have greed and the will for power over others, Nietzsche wrote Will for Power, and he talks about how we form alliances to gain power. And so, wars end up, we have religions to give us power. And if you don't join with our God, we'll chop your heads off. So everybody had to unify to fight for this God. And we'll all die for our country and our nation and our flag and our God and our religion. That's where we're at now. And but the root of this is that we have law that you're not supposed to do wrong to someone else. Well, what's wrong? Where does wrong come from? If it doesn't come from God, it's evolved. The desire to protect your own food so somebody doesn't eat your food and you'll die and your genes won't be passed on. So it's the process of the continuation of your physical traits that tell you something's happening to you that's wrong. And so we all have it. We all have this knowledge. When somebody steals your food, when you're a child, you're furious because they took your cookie, And then we have laws. You can't do any wrong to the others. When they do that, we have a method of determining what should be done when somebody overpowers somebody else and does them wrong. So we have law and we have crimes. Now, I just looked on Google to get the definition of crime. And I'll do it again and let you hear what Google says. Define crime.
Here's the definition of crime. An action or omission that constitutes an offense that may be prosecuted by the state and is punishable by law.
Okay, so it's calling on the authority of the state. That's not all of the people. That's just the state. We have a republic in the USA. And I'm thinking that's not what I want. So I look it down at another definition. And I'm just going to read it. An action or activity that, although not illegal, is considered to be evil, shameful, or wrong. And then it's got an example. They condemned apartheid as a crime against humanity. Okay, so I'm trying to illustrate how the authorities that make the laws, that want to stay in power over us, they always turn the power of the people back to them, so that it's them that enforces the law and writes the law. And they determine if we broke the law and if they're going to do anything to us. And it's not about justice for all. We all know that. It's supposed to be. Justice is fairness. So you get from Google here that there's such a thing as a crime against humanity. Now, let's see what it says for the definition of that. Define crime against humanity.
Here's the definition of crime against humanity. A deliberate act, typically as part of a systematic campaign, that causes human suffering or death on a large scale.
Okay, then it says as an example, he was handed over to the International Criminal Court in The Hague to face charges of crimes against humanity. So here again, you have The Hague, the attorneys and the prosecutors that work in The Hague that determine if somebody is guilty of a crime against humanity. Okay, so what about a crime against a human? See, that when there's a crime against a human, it's a crime against humanity. So if somebody steals your cookie, that is a crime against humanity. Now, what if what they do is legal? They do something there's no law for it. There's, with the skillful use of the laws that are written, you're empowered to defraud or get away with fraud. They get away with misrepresentation. They get away with false advertisement. And so our law is not working. So somebody does you wrong, and there's no law from us so far, from humans so far, that stops people from, there's not a law against doing someone wrong. There should be. Now, define it. Well, I could look for the definition of, see what Google says, doing someone wrong. Let me try that again. Didn't get it. Doing someone wrong.
According to Merriam-Webster, definition of do wrong: to treat badly or unfairly her ex-boyfriend did her wrong.
Okay, so see, now we're on a human level. To treat badly or unfairly. So to me, unfairly is the key word. That's what treated badly is. It's unfairness. So if I treat somebody in a way they think is bad, but it's fair because of the situation, other people are involved in determining if what I did was unfair to a person. And if someone does something to me, it requires other people involved outside of the issue that are not the two parties that have a complaint to determine if there was wrongdoing. So, and we all know what it is. That's my point. We don't need attorneys to write laws. We know when someone does someone wrong. So do the attorneys. So it's what I'm trying to do is make this understandable, how the power of religion and the power of governments is failing humanity. There are crimes against humanity that are not being stopped. And humanity is every single one of us. Does that make sense? So whenever someone has done wrong, it's a crime against humanity. And if people had this attitude, had this philosophy, that we need to stop wrongdoing to every single person. And we can get the religions and the governments to get on board with us with this. If we all unify for fairness, for you. We're all here to protect each other from someone doing us wrong. And it's the greatest thing when you can get this mentality established in a group of people, just with your thoughts. I do it every day. And you can change conflict situation to an incredible feeling of peace and cooperation that occupies the minds of the others with no action. Just by learning how the way of fairness works and practicing it, and just make it known with thought that you're here protecting others from anyone doing them wrong. So we're here to punish the one that is doing us wrong. And so the one that's doing us wrong, we're saying, well, join us. We'll protect you from others that are doing you wrong. You're forgiven for everything you've ever done, and you're honored for joining us in stopping unfairness. And we all count the same.